Alright, what's occurring? So, 3 long years ago, as the nation waited with bated breath to find out whether or not Smithy had said yes, I jumped in my little blue car and went and saw these places.
This is where Pete and Dawn renew their vows. Gavin is singing Band-Aid with Smithy when he walks out of this entrance, much as these two men are doing here. Right here is where Gavin and Stacey stand with their family and close friends and have their wedding photos taken. Here we go, the lane they used is actually free. I'm sitting on it right now. There it is, Pam and Mick's house from Gavin and Stacey.
And ever since, my YouTube channel has been inundated with request after request after request. You've asked and asked and asked for me to return to South Wales to finish what I started. Well, the bad news is the little blue car is long gone, but the good news is today is the day that I heed your call. I am heading westbound to the Isle of Bryn. I'll check out some spots that you'll no doubt remember and some that you may not. But either way, don't forget to click down below and subscribe, because this is a 2-part video and part 2 is going to be a 2024 Christmas special. Let's hit the road.
Well, I say let's hit the road, but I'm actually going on the train, so that does make the first location pretty simple. And that's because the first stop on my list is right here, Barry train station. Nice easy one for me. This is where my train actually arrived this morning. So I'm here, and this features in 2 Gavin and Stacey episodes. There was an episode where the Smithy and the boys came to go on a night out in Barry with Gavin and Bryn. They arrived here at the front of the train station. And the barn dance episode, this is where Gwen walked over and met Stacey at the train station. They asked the question, shall we get a taxi or shall we walk? Well, I am going to walk because it's only a couple of minutes walk to get to our next location, which I think is one you'll recognise very, very well. It's a bit rainy today in Barry, a bit drizzly, but looking forward to exploring the famous seaside town that we've seen so much of on TV. It's a real place, and I'm looking forward to exploring it today. And here we are, the famous Trinity Street. First impressions, it is very, very steep. Unbelievable, honestly, it's like a wall of houses and concrete and cars. It does not come across on camera just how steep this hill is. I'm out of breath. Look at that. There it is. It's Gwen's house, it's Doris's house, and it's Bryn's house. I mean, so many things happen here, don't they? It's such a historic TV spot. Probably the most famous of the lot being the proposal, which happened right here in the Christmas special. They're loading up the top of Bryn's Picasso, and Bryn's telling Gwen to pull it taut. That was right here where this patch is. You got Bryn's house over here. This is the window that he leans out of when Pam and Mick arrive, and he gives it the I'm on my way, I'm naked. This is where Gavin as well comes to the door and meets up with, or he meets Gwen and Bryn and all of those for the first time, in Nessa. Oh no, he meets Nessa in London, doesn't he? But all of that happens here as well. This, of course, is Doris's house next door. It becomes Stacey's house in the 2019 Christmas special. They live here. But yeah, this is where she talks about having a Baileys and all of that. So much TV history happening right here. Mad to see it in the flesh, I gotta say. You've seen the programme so many times, and it's like you're stepping into like a TV set when you actually come here. And as you'll see, there are lots of signs in the window, memorabilia. I think in the past people were allowed to go in, but it does say that she's not accepting visitors at the moment. Don't be knocking. It is obviously where somebody lives, a lady called Glenda, but lots of pictures on the wall, and I'm sure if you're polite and respectful, you're allowed to take a few photos as well. But this is a must. If you come into Barry, you have to come to Trinity Street, the steepest hill in all the world. Oh look, she's got some pictures from the new Christmas special up, and there she is. That's the lady who owns the house. Right, well, the temptation is to stay here all day and just reminisce, because there's so many, you know, bits where you look around and you go, oh, that was filmed there and that was filmed there and all of that. But it is raining, and this is where people live, so I don't want to loiter too long. What do we think? Shall I give Gwen a knock and see if she can rustle up a couple of omelettes for me? Nah, better not. Places to be. Got to say, I thought the area was going to be inundated with fans taking pictures, but nope, just me today. Maybe it's because it's a drizzly Tuesday. I don't need one of Gwen's omelettes anyway, because I've got a table booked at the Coach and Horses, not in Essex, instead on the edge of Barry. This is the location for the famous pub quiz in episode 2 of Gavin and Stacey, and also over on the grass behind me here, this is where Smithy's stag do takes place. Over here is where Bryn and Budgie are discussing whether or not to go ahead with the stag do plan that involves deep heat and a plunger. So that all takes place over here. And then there's lots of picnic tables out in the episode. They're not here now because obviously it's March, so There's no need for picnic tables because it's raining. Often when I come to these types of places to do filming locations, it is a bit like this. You sort of film in empty fields and car parks and backs of pubs. But I just think if you're in the area and you like the show, why not pop in and have a look? You know, it's worth it. Filming obviously was taking place not so long ago. What was it, September just gone? And the episode only aired 3 months ago, so this is quite a recent one. But I'll be keen to see the inside, see if it's the same as I remember it in the show. This is, of course, where Bryn wears the full West Ham kit at Smithy's statue. It's just brilliant. But it's also the episode where the quiz takes place, as I mentioned, and that was a long time ago. So filming for that would have taken place in like 2007. So that's like 18 years ago. It's a long time ago. So we'll see how much it's changed when we get in there. It doesn't open for another 5 minutes. So I'm just sitting in one of these little wooden huts, and I'm going to discuss whether or not to use the deep heat and the plunger. And this spot, you may not recognise this spot, but I do. Someone order a Chinese. I had to do it. Of course, this bit here is famous from the quiz night episode. Smithy sort of staggers out of here. He's had too many doing the quiz, and he goes to get in his car, and Gavin says, "You're not driving." And they go and get in Pam and Mick's car, I think, over there. But there you go. This pub actually is not called the Coach and Horses as it is in the show. It's actually called the Colcot Arms. Just chatting to one of the bar staff here, who was an extra in filming, and he was here the day they filmed. He said it was a really fun experience and that all the cast and crew were really nice. But the pub inside looks pretty much as it did, obviously, because they only just filmed here, really. It was only about 6 months ago. But they also filmed here for series 1, episode 2, the quiz. And I got a little shot, which I'll put on screen now, of where Smithy was sat necking pints doing the quiz. And that looks pretty similar to how it did when they filmed here as well. Before we go, I have actually got a question for you. Who invented the plug? There you go, that was the Colcot Arms pub, otherwise known as the Coach and Horses, from Gavin and Stacey. Enjoyed a nice pint in there, and I'm going to be heading now from one pub to another, as long as I don't order myself some Ravgiv or Hive, however it's pronounced. Then I should be alright. There we go, it's the Tadross Hotel, also known in Gavin and Stacey as the Dolphin. The scene of the final shot of Gavin and Stacey, that was filmed in here, the black and white photo where they all assembled after Smithy and Nessa's wedding. That was filmed inside here. So we're going to go in, see if we can go in, have a little look, and then just behind me here, in one of the other episodes, I think it was baby Neil's christening, there's a shot where Pam and Mick are walking up this road, and Pam is talking about how she'd like to go on Britain's Got Talent, and Mick says, "Yeah, you have got a touch of the Susan Boyles about you." Let's head inside.
That's the one, that's the very last one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh,
all
brilliant.
those people.
Oh, is that everybody who's involved with
That's
it?
all behind the scenes, everything.
Look at that. Oh,
It's a
wow.
lot of people in it.
Excellent, that is. A lot of people to make it happen. Look at that, signed by the cast. And just over here, this is where the show ended. This is where the final shot of Gavin and Stacey was. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. I was chatting to the barman in there, actually, and he said he was, of course, here when they filmed, said that everyone was very sad on the day. I sat on the table where Bryn and Gavin and Smithy have Gavin's second stag do, which is also right next to the booth in the 2019 Christmas special where the gang meet up and have a drink over some Pogues karaoke. When I was in there, it was so quiet. It was me and 3 other guys, and it was like, you know, in the episode where there's the second stag do, it's so quiet. It was like I was in the show. Here we go. Now this is one that you may not remember. However, let me remind you, about here is where Nessa does her famous human statue moment, which I'm not going to recreate for you because there's a lot of people around and a lot of people looking at me right now. But that happens right here, season 2, episode 6, in King Square in the middle of Barry. Shake it. There you go, from one location you may not have remembered to one you definitely will have done, because this is from the beach episode. We're going to have a look around Barry Island Pleasure Park and find the bumper cars. Everything's closed. It's just me here, so I've got free reign of the place. To be honest, I can't remember what rides they went on in the episode, other than, of course, the bumper cars when Dave was waiting there with the gas. So I want to try and find those. But yeah, this is it. You want to, if you're going to look at this, Probably I'd say come in peak season when it's open and you can actually go on stuff, because right now it's just me and a load of empty rides. Here we go. I have found them. I have found the bumper cars. It's definitely one of the most wholesome scenes in the whole series when they come here and just have a lot of fun, and they're all on the bumper cars. Even Doris is getting involved, and then Dave's there with the can of gas to lower the tone. Although I feel like in the Christmas special, the new one, I quite liked how Dave had a bit of a redemption arc to his story, because he was dislikable, wasn't he, in the early series, but then at the end he comes good. But yeah, these are the bumper cars, the dodgems, the classic dodgems from the episode, the beach episode of Gavin Stacey. I think it's season 3, and these are them, and I think it's probably the same ones as well, because it all looks quite old. That's the thing, the funfair, it's good, but it does look quite dated here, but I don't mind that. It kind of gives it a little bit of, you know, bit of charm. You know, when you get the sort of modern rides, you know, like Alton Towers and those kind of things, it's got less charm. This is like a classic British seaside resort, and I'm here for it. I love it. Look at this, there's a bit of crazy golf on the beachfront in Barry. However, isn't there a bit where Bryn says that he told Dave coaches about the fishing trip when Dave used to work, when he was playing crazy golf and Dave used to work at the crazy golf place? Maybe this is the place. This is where the secrets of the fishing trip were spilt. The tea was spilt right here. There you go, I've reached Barry Island Promenade. Right here where this green car is parked, in these parking bays, is where Dave Coaches parks at the end of episode 1 of Gavin and Stacey. And right here is where the famous line from Gavin, where he says, you say it first and I'll say it back, and they say I love you to each other for the first time right here where I'm stood. There we go, we made it to the ocean, to the Welsh coast. And right here where there's a fun fair set up here at the moment, but right here where this is where in the Christmas special, I think of 2008 or 2009, one of the two, this is where Nessa and Dave set up a tent, and Nessa takes on the role of Santa with Dave taking on the role of Rudolph. Honestly, that scene, every time I watch it, it just makes me cry with laughter. So funny. And that takes place literally here behind me. Looks a little bit different today because there's a fun fair set up there. But look at this. Mick was right, this is a beautiful beach. Over by these bollards here is where Pam and Mick park up when they visit and go to the beach. I mean, you couldn't park here in real life, of course, but that is where they parked, just there. They talked about how nice Barry was, and didn't Pam say that if it was like a dreary day and it wasn't sunny, it would be quite a bleak and depressing place? Well, Pam, I beg to differ, because today it is a bit of a dreary day, but it's lovely. I love Barry. I love being near the sea. I love being near a fish and chip shop. Oh, this is Marco's, isn't it? This right here is Marco's, where Stacey works in Gavin and Stacey. You can see, in fact, I'll take you over. There they are, there's the crew. This is where Stacey works in that famous beach episode that we keep talking about. That's right here. And as you can see, very proud of their Gavin and Stacey heritage here at Marco's. I might grab a coffee from Marco's, actually. Or an iron brew. Shall I grab an iron brew? They must get that all the time, people asking if they do iron brew. Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask them if they sell iron brew. There he is. The big man's been in for a coffee. They do some superb cake options. I might have to get myself a little cake. You probably get us asked this all the time. Do you sell iron brew?
Yeah, we don't. We don't actually get asked it too much.
You're missing it. You've been making a killing, mate. You've got to get some iron brew in. Yeah, I'll just grab a flat white if that's all right. Cheers. There we go. Got my flat white. And I've got a table right outside Marco's. I want to pop down later and have a look in Nessa's slots, which is just down there. Might even have a wander on the beach, which is just the other side of that wall. They might not do iron brew, and I did say to the guy they need to get it in because they'd make an absolute killing, but they do a good flat white. Oh, a very good flat white. Just noticed as well while I was sitting and having my coffee that this area here in front of those bins is where Nessa does her tuk-tuk in the most recent Christmas special. She says to the old lady, "You're damaging my mental health." Honestly, you may have gathered from this video and any other Gavin and Stacey videos that I've done, I am a super fan, and so to be here today, it's a real treat, honestly. I'm loving looking around, seeing all the spots. You know, everywhere you go, it feels like everywhere you go in Barry, something has been filmed for that show. Like literally stood here. That's where the Christmas special happened. Over there is where Gavin and Stacey said, "I love you" for the first time. Stacey worked in there. The slots are down there. They went on the beach. Everywhere you go, this show is you know, part of the tapestry of this place. And I think people are quite proud of it as well, because whenever I've spoken to people today, spoken to quite a lot of people today as I've gone around, and everyone, like, when you mention that you're here to see the Gavin and Stacey spots, everyone just smiles and has like their stories of when they saw filming, or, you know, when they met James Corden, or whatever it might be. So I love how proud Barry is of Gavin and Stacey, and I've got to say, today has been the most fun. No, I can't believe it. I've come all this way and Nessa Slots is closed. Well, Nessa Slots may well be closed, but I found myself a banging place to have a coffee, because the pillar that I'm sat next to right here is where the cast, so Smithy, Nessa, Gavin and Stacey, sit here at the end of season 3, the final shot of season 3, where the camera pans out. In fact, I'll put it on screen now. This is where they're sitting when that shot is filmed. I wonder how they filmed it, because drones weren't commonplace back then, so they must have had to hire a helicopter to get that shot. Anyway, I digress. This is where it was, and I'm sitting in here enjoying my coffee from Marco's. Shame that Nessa Slots is not open, but it is out of season, so I suppose if you're going to come here when it's not sunny, then maybe it won't be open, so try and time your visit accordingly. There you go. This is where in the final episode Nessa does her final lockup of the slots. It's a shame we can't go inside, but there you go. She pops the key right in there and locks up for the final time. So I was sat out there having my coffee. I've come down onto the beach now, because I think here, just here, is where the gang have a bit of time on the beach. Hello mate. This is where the gang hang out on the beach episode of Gavin and Stacey season 3, and this is where it all happens right here. This is where Doris sits on the beach and reads her Jordan autobiography. This is where Bryn goes for a swim in this very ocean, and then he comes out and he puts sun cream on Mick in a rather inappropriate manner. This is where Nessa asks for an iron brew, and when Gavin says, what if they haven't got iron brew, she says, go somewhere that has. I'm looking around, I can't see any sandcastles here. All the sandcastles must have not survived. They obviously didn't give it the special tap, did they? That's me done. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun walking around Barry, looking at all these spots. I know some of them are just car parks, but it's nice to see where everything was filmed, wasn't it? Barry's a beautiful spot, I've got to say. If you're in South Wales, or even if you're not, and you just want to go somewhere nice, Barry's very nice, and it's, you know, it's a day at the sea. And while you're here, you can check out all these Gavin and Stacey locations as well. So highly recommend. It was an easy sell for me to come and film this video. Gavin and Stacey's a family favourite. It's a favourite of mine. It's a show that's dear to my heart. It's one of those shows that when you're having a tough day and it's raining outside and it's raining in life, you go home, you put it on, and it just, I don't know, it just makes you feel warm inside, you know? It's one of those types of shows. So coming here today has been a real joy and a real pleasure. People of Barry have been very friendly. It's a beautiful spot, and I commend it to you. I'll see you again next time. My arm's aching, so I'm going to stop filming. Tidy.